Hello guys, I'm Stan. I make websites on Webflow. Today I'm going to show you how to integrate your broadcasts and landing pages from your ConvertKit to Webflow website without any extra publishing. So next I will show you a short tutorial, yes, around 14 minutes. This is still short because I cut this tutorial before as much as I could. And for the small reason, just for my small promotion, I will be on the top of this tutorial and I will do some kind of stuff. Yes, for this video I will cut vegetables because next I want to eat vegetables, so I will do it. So let's have a look how to integrate the broadcast and landing pages on your Webflow page. Let's go. Let's start with the structure for broadcast and exactly the same structure for landing pages, but with changes for some elements for landing pages structure. I'll add a length to the class name for kit loader and kit content, and I'll change the IDs for buttons. All this information you can find in the guide on GitHub, what you find under this video. Let's switch to the flow. First I'll add my global CSS. You can use your own classes. Then a div with a name main wrap. Next I'll add a section with class section main. For section main, I'll add the style with 100 VW. Next, we need a container. I'll add a div and give it name ConvertKit. I also add a flex and gap to it, as well as settings to margins and patterns. Nothing special here. You might have your own settings. These are mine. So these are the settings. Next, I'll add h1. For h1, as with all text elements, I'll use global classes. For h1, I add a global class for centering and sizing. Then I add a div with the class kit loader. This div will be the wrapper for the loading animation, which shows up before the list of our broadcasts and landing pages loads on the page. For the loader, I'll add the style horizontal flex and also add a gap. Next, I'll add a div with the class spinner. I add a border style to it and 2 rem for the height and width. The border should have 100% radius and size will be 3 pixels or 0.19 rem. Then in custom properties I need to add the following styles, animation and border top color. You can find these styles in the guide, especially in the CSS section in the spinner class. Just copy these two styles and pass them into custom properties. Next, I need to add another div. I'll give this div the class border text. Inside this div, I'll place the text element. To this text, I'll add a global class with a size 16 pixels or 1 rem and enter the message that will be displayed when our broadcasts are loaded. Now I also add another div inside the container kit. I'll name this div kit content. This kit content will have the following styles: flex, vertical gap and 1.25 rem, and the size will be 100% with next inside kit content I'll add a list with the class kit list wrap. Next, inside the list, I'll add the list item element. I'll add the class kit list item to this list item, and it will have the following styles: flex, space between around, horizontal and top, also margin, padding top and padding bottom of 1 rem each. I'll also add a bottom border for the item to create separation between the broadcasts and landing pages list elements. Then I add a div with the class kit list text div wrap with flex and gap. Next, inside the div I add a image element, give it the class kit image. I'll add a style of 8 rems for height and 8 rems for width. You can use your own styles, of course. I also add a fit color, and then I'll add text element next to it. I'll give this text element global class text size 22, meaning a size of just 22 pixels. Next, I add another text element with the class text size 14 with a size of 14 pixels in rems. Then I need to add the buttons for switching our list. Inside kit content, I add a div with the class kit list button wrap. It will have horizontal flex with a gap of 0.63 rem. Then inside kit list button wrap, I'll place 2 buttons. One of them I will add the text next, and to another one text Prev. Each of these buttons will have an ID. The Prev button will have the ID Prev, and the next button have the ID next. Then I return to the styles and add the class for buttons. For style, here I add transition and smooth animation. Then for the first button we add the transparent compa class. The styles for this compa class will be black text, transparent background, a black border, and for the smooth color animation you need to add a transition. And also I need to add a class isNone for the next button. This class will be appear on the button when it will be at the end of the list. This class will have following styles: opacity 13 and events known, so it can be clicked. Structure for landing pages will be exactly the same, but for the loader, instead of kit loader, I'll use the class kit loader land, and for the content, instead of kit content, I'll use the class kit content land. And for the buttons that switch the landing pages, the IDs will be next one and prev one instead of prev and next. Everything else is the same except these two classes and two IDs. Our structure is ready. Next, I need to add the CSS to the site head. I simply copy it from our guide here, go to the page settings, and in the page settings just paste all this code for the head of the page. Now let's go to ConvertKit Search Kit or ConvertKit in Google. I already have an account. You need to register and select the free 15 days version. By the way, it will continue to work after 15 days in a stripped down version, so you can test it. Here we'll be integrating landing pages and broadcasts. Let's start from broadcast. Important about broadcast: they are primarily intended for sending by email. Without sending an email, your list won't load into your website. I'll explain how to create broadcasts so they appear on your website. I'll choose a template. Let's pick this one. I'll name it Video Broadcast 1. Then click Continue. If you need to change the content, just change it. What's critical here is to select both checkboxes for the reason I explained above. Let's select both. In Publish to Web, you need to choose a cover image. Let's choose this lady for the cover. Then click Continue and Publish and Send Broadcast. That's it. Our broadcast with the lady is loading. It will soon appear and become public. Refreshed the page and we see the broadcast has been sent. Now let's start the integration itself. Let's go to our guide from Git. I need the JavaScript. Let's scroll down and find the JavaScript for broadcasts. Copy it for the current site. For testing script before publish it, I'll be using this application, user JavaScript and CSS. You can insert any scripts here and they'll run on your website. It's faster than save code in body and publish it and then wait until it publish on Webflow. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I opened this application and passed the code I have inside this application. You need to remove the tags. In Webflow you need to add that tags. Then I need the APK. Let's find the APK, go to ConvertKit, go to settings, then go to the developer tab. In the developer tab I need to create a new key for API version 4. Let's name it broadcast new, copy this APK, go back to our code and paste the APK instead of our hint. Save it, go to our site, everything is working. Let's see what we have here. Here is the full list of our broadcasts. I can click next and paginate to the next list of items. All broadcasts will open in a new tab. I think this is the best solution if your content of Kit is visually different from the content on your website. Let's now switch to the console and see what's happening there. In the console we see the messages. Here is the list of messages we have. This is the entire list of broadcasts from our ConvertKit. 0 is the first element and then we have our 9 broadcasts. Inside of each these elements we have the content, the broadcast itself, which you can also use on your website. Then when it created, the description, the email address it was sent from. Please remember to delete this console part from the code I commented on it here. It will be enabled by default. Just use it for checking the list of broadcasts. Let's continue my explanation of console messages. After the email we have template ID, text, public yes or not, public URL. By the way, the public URL wasn't available before, so we had to create the link differently based on H1 title. I saved this all part of the code for me. I don't know the reason, but if you need this all part of the code, you can find it here. Let's go back to the console. There is a public ID when published and when sent. These are all the elements we used for our broadcast integration. Let's check what I used for our integration here. For the title I use subject. Let's find it in our code. I applied here. I also have a variable thumbnail URL. This is our subtitle. It's used for the image. The last piece what I used here is the date. For that I use created at parameter. You can also use publish at. Then I use public URL. This is the parameter I used for our link. That's all the parameters I used from API of ConvertKit. And using this code, I take all these parameters and send them to Webflow. Something else interesting in this code. This is the pagination, which looks like this. I have elements with the IDs, Prev and Next. These buttons are responsible for switching between our list of broadcast items. Don't forget to specify these exact IDs here. This is how the broadcasts integration works. Nothing special, but it took a lot of time of me figure out how it works, especially when the public URL wasn't available and I had to create a link based on the title, as I said before. If you still have some kind of questions about how this code works, you can always send all the code to Gemini or GPT, so this AI tool can give you a full explanation of every part of this code. Next, let's look how the landing page integration works. On Git, you can also integrate forms if you need, of course, but I will focus only on the landing page integration. Let's see how we can create landing page in ConvertKit. Choose a template, change if you need, and save and publish. Contrast to the broadcast, you need just publish the landing page, and the most recent one will appear in your list. Here's our landing page that I created just now. That's all. Next, we need to copy our secret key for API version 3. Go to the Settings tab, open Settings, scroll down, go to the Developer tab, and then to the v3 case tab. I need to copy our secret key. You can click here to see it. I will blur mine. Then let's copy it back to our code and replace our secret key here. Then refresh our page. Now we don't have broadcasts because we have only the code for landing pages. Everything works almost the same way as with broadcast integration. Go to the console and check. Here is the full list of our landing pages. Let's open the first one. We have here next parameters, archive, created at, which will be used for our date, embed.js, embed URL. The URL will be the direct link to our landing page, item, format ID, name, which is the title in Webflow, type, and that's all. For images and previews, there's a nuance in this code. Let's back to the code. API version 3 for landing pages does not allow us to take images for previews. It is simply not provided. Therefore, there is a workaround, which looks like this. We have a list of images here, which we use for our covers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I need the links for the images, and these images will be used for the cover. This will be used for the first object, the second image for the second, the third one for the third, and so on. If we have more than 5 objects, for instance 7 or 8, when the 5 image ends, regardless of the number of objects, the cycle starts over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. You can get these image links in the following way. The simplest way is to find image online. For example, let's choose the image with the lid again, open the image in a new tab, simply copy the link and paste it into our code. This is how it looks. But The main thing is that you must have permission to embed this image on your page. You can also upload the images directly to Webflow and get the link from there. Let me quickly download an image. I need to upload our image here. Click this icon. Here is our images. I'll upload it here. That's it. Next, click to the three dots, copy the link and insert our image. Go here, press enter, paste the image link, add quotes at the beginning and the end of the link, add a comma, save it, return to our landing pages, and we see the first image. That's how it works. The rest of the code here is generally the same like in broadcasts. Also, don't forget to hide the full list of the console. If you used it, by default it will be disabled. For a more detailed explanation, just paste it into a ChatGPT or Gemini. That's all. So, that was my video about how to integrate broadcasts and landing pages on your Webflow page or your Webflow website. Nothing special here, just need to check around and to understand how it works. That's all. If you need any help with integration of your broadcasts and landing pages on your website on Webflow, please contact me and I will help you. So, thank you for your time, eat vegetables and have a nice day. Goodbye.